Hello. So I decided to create a project using the nonlinear slideshows. So in the beginning of the year, in my second grade classroom, we spend a lot of time on building community. And one aspect of that is really getting the kids to stop and think about the choices that they make and realizing that those choices that they make not only impact themselves, but oftentimes others. And we use a book. It's called How Do You Fill a Bucket? And the whole concept of that is everybody walks around with an invisible bucket. And if good things happen to that person, their bucket fills up. If bad things tend to happen to that person, their bucket gets dipped and it empties out. So we talk to second graders about their decision making and oftentimes how when they come to a situation, they have two choices, and one choice that they can fill somebody's bucket, which then ends up filling their own bucket, or they can dip somebody's bucket. So I immediately thought of the nonlinear slideshow that I could use with the kids. So after we would start off the unit by reading books about being bucket fillers and having the kids share situations that they've already dealt with in the school year and the two choices that they were given and which one they made. So we'd do lots of talking about that. So the kids were already in that mindset. Then I would split the kids into groups of three, and they would choose to write about one situation that they came across or had to deal with this school year and the two choices that they had to choose from when in that situation. So here is an example project that I did. So I created the background, and something that new that I learned from this course is I did not know the concept of searching for an image, a PNG image with no background. That was a game changer for me. So I was able to incorporate some PNG images into my slides. But this situation is a common one in the classroom where the teacher asks a math problem and a student raises their hand and the student says the wrong answer. So what would you do? Two choices: look at the person beside you and start laughing, or look at Sam and say, nice try. So if you look at the person beside you and start laughing, it's going to take you to this slide. And Sam sees you laughing and she begins to cry, and you can see that that is dipping her bucket. So your choice dipped her bucket. So maybe we want to go back. So my homepage is a bucket, since the whole thing we're talking about is being bucket fillers, bucket dippers. And maybe you're going to change your mind and say, I want to look at Sam and say, nice try. So I'll click that. It takes us to slide 3. And now you can see that her bucket is being filled. And she smiles and says thank you. So once again, if I wanted to go back, I have my bucket symbol right here as my home page. So the idea with that is the kids would be in groups of 3. They would create this 3 slideshow project and then add it to a folder that I would have shared with the whole class, and then I would combine them into a class book. So I am really, really excited about this. As far as timeline, I'm honestly not sure. This would be the first time that the kids will be using Google ever. So I know that within using this project, we're going to have to talk a lot about things that I've done in Google Camp before that Rhonda has shared with us, as far as just the basics of Google, font, how do you change color, that type of thing. So that's going to be intermingled or mixed with all of this learning. So I would like to say that this could be a 2-week project with the kids, because they do have some basics of Google that we would have to play around with a little bit, and then creating their own. As far as support materials, the kids wouldn't need a lot because there would be groups of 3. I would have enough laptops in my room, so that wouldn't be an issue. And, they wouldn't need any types of books or really any resources, because they're writing about a situation that they experienced either in the school year already, maybe last school year, over the summer. So not many support materials are needed. Requirements, pretty much what I just showed right here, that I would want them to have 3 slideshows, or 3 slides in the slideshow. The first one describing the situation and the 2 choices they were given, and then the outcome of each of those choices, whether it ended up filling somebody's bucket or dipping someone's bucket. And then, of course, I would teach them how to go ahead and link that just like I did here. But I am really excited to kick off the school year. You know, sometimes I tend to wait for technology later on in the school year because I think the kids aren't ready. But this has kind of changed my mindset. So I'm excited to kick off with technology and something new with the kids this upcoming school year.